So, okay, we're recording. Thank you guys for jumping on this call. Like I said, it's been a while since we have done a power hour call. We used to call these power hour calls, but the basis of power hour is taking action. So kind of Lindsay Gray's, I kind of took her lead as far as calling it this. But so we know in order to do anything with our fitness and our business, like we have to take action. And it's funny because I want to bring this up because I was talking to Miranda earlier and she was like, even though I've heard this stuff, or even if I've heard this stuff several times, it always helps me to like, I still catch it in a different way, or I still gain something from it. And I'm like, yes, like it's so true because we all know how to do this. Like we all know, I guess I should say, what we need to do, right? We know what we need to do. It's like with our fitness, we know what we need to do. It's just sometimes our lack of, or it's sometimes just consistency, or it's sometimes our excitement, right? Because, and I could say this until the cows come home, and I say it all the time, but if you're not excited about getting people involved, and that's going to come from getting results from a program, getting somebody to say yes, because when you sign a coach or you get somebody to say yes, or you get someone on BOD for whatever membership they get, that gets you excited. Like, or if you have a coach rank advance because they see a vision and they get like that fire in their belly, like all those things make us excited to do more. So with that being said, I think it's also so important to, well, and here's the thing too, it's so simple. That's what I was starting to say with what Miranda said. It's so simple. Like we make this difficult. It's not, and it's a lot of times just hearing it over and over and over again and being like, okay, like maybe I know what I need to do now. I don't need to watch another video or listen to another training or listen to another whatever. I mean, it's always good, but you guys are on here for inspiration and you're on here for accountability. So we do these calls, not because you guys don't know what you're doing, but because it just helps us all like gain that motivation to make our week amazing. So kind of think about like what, before we start this action call, so think about like what gets you in your place. Like for me, it's like starting like today, I was running behind, but like I get up and I drink my pre-workout and I do my workout, and then that gets me kind of in my mode. But like when you're in the funk and you're not feeling it and you sit down to do a power hour and like and we've talked about this before, but you feel like you're going through the motions and it's not feeling like, it's just not feeling authentic, or it's not feeling like you're excited. You're almost doing it because it's a task that you're checking off your list. And it does need to be a task, because if we don't make it one and discipline ourselves and know that it's a non-negotiable to reach people each day, know that it's a non-negotiable to post, to share your story, to continuously show up every single day for the people who are looking at you and are looking to you for motivation. Because whether or not you think so or not, you are inspiring people with your journey every single day, showing up, being excited, because a lot of people think that they can't get excited about something, and that's their mindset, that they're in their own head about it, but they see you excited about it and they're like, wow, I wish I could do what she's doing, or I wish I was as excited as she is, or I wish I had the motivation, which they do. They just need somebody a lot of times, or they just finally need to come to that moment of, I need to do this for me. I need to cut out my excuses, like nobody's going to do this for me, and that sort of thing. And I compare the fitness to this business so much because it's the same thing. Like nobody's going to build the business for me. Like I've got to figure this out. If I get 50 no's tomorrow, I've got to be willing to, like Jessica Servi says, push the pendulum and keep pushing it, because it's not, I don't need those people. We don't need the people who are saying no right now. Like we don't need them to be successful, because we know how this works. Like we will reinvite and we will reinvite and we will show up and we will continue to blow the roof off the whatever program we're doing, or be excited again about what we're doing. And that's always going to still keep people like, I guess I should say proving to people like, this is what I'm doing and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going with or without you. I want you with me, and that sort of thing. So think about what gets you in your place. Like, what is it do you need? And it's not always going to be the perfect thing. It's not always going to be the perfect timing, where I want you guys to think about like your day. And every day is different a lot of times, but you got to figure out where in my day can I fit my work in that I'm not making it happen? Where am I wasting time? Have I made lists? Like, can I look at my week at a glance, like right now, and I can think, and of course we can't always plan exactly how it's going to go, but can I see where I can make time for this? Because this is going to take me scheduling this sometimes without it just working out that you have time, right? Because stuff happens and it's chaotic, and sometimes it feels like you don't. I always hear people say like, well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to, send invites, or I'm going to sit down and, and it's like, I think it becomes this thing in our mind that we have to set aside this like big time where we need to do this. And yeah, we do, but we know that we can build a business in power pockets of time. So, and like Lindsay Gray's words, not very long ago, she said, a sale is nothing more than a transfer of energy. So we are transferring our energy to people on social media every single day. Our success, like your success, is going to come from your energy, your enthusiasm, your consistency, and your results. So like today, I hadn't shared a transformation picture in I don't know how long. I'm bad about it. I don't do it enough. I think sometimes it's because I don't feel like I have a big transformation to share. So I struggle to put it out there, because when I look at it, sometimes I'm like, is that really inspiring? But I put it out there today, and I got a couple messages just from that post that this girl's like, what are you doing? I want to do it. Okay, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Okay, we want those people that are just like, yes, because they're inspired by your journey, right? And so what are we putting out there? Like, what are you putting out there to get people to join? And something that I've been trying to do that I want to encourage you guys to do, no matter where you are in your business, or your journey, is share about like coaching. Everybody has a reason that they're a coach. Everybody has a vision of why they want to be a coach. So I've started just trying to share a little bit more on my stories. I've been trying to do more with my posts. Therefore, I feel like I can kind of direct my invites specifically to a coaching invite. So a lot of times when people just like my stuff, or if it's fitness related, or it's just kind of a in-between post where it could go either way, I'll invite them to my challenge group. And of course, this Energize group that's coming up, we'll be inviting to that as well. But now I feel like I can kind of transfer some of those people to an actual coach post where I say nothing more. And I want to give you an example. And we're going to do this when we start like throwing out some of these invites. But and I'm going to talk a second while I find this, because it's going to take me a minute, because I got to think of who this was. Because I'm really playing around with Instagram. I'm having a lot of fun. I know some of you guys are kind of getting your feet wet with it too. And it kind of used to like make me not want to, like I just was like resisting Instagram. I was like, I don't like it. It's weird. It stresses me out. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm getting nowhere. But I have a really good video, and I'm going to post it in the team page when we get off of here. Jackie Hart shared it with me. I haven't actually got to listen to it, but it's a really good way for you to connect and gain followers. I've been sort of implementing the ideas, and it's working. Okay, so I want to also say, like, okay, I'm going to share my screen in a second, but I want you guys to, again, think about where's your block of time. So don't miss your time block, because if you miss your time block, we know, like with our workout, if we miss it, it's like, I hear people say it all the time. If I don't get it knocked out in the morning, it doesn't happen, or I struggle to get it in. So where is your time block going to be every single day? At least a time block. It has to be there. And if you're somebody who can't do a bigger amount of time, then you're going to have to figure out like 3 times a day where you can send invites. Because those small steps, like whether you're doing small steps or big steps, like within your power hour, if you're staying consistent, you're still going to be keeping up with the routine of doing it. Because I've said it a million times, but if you get away from your power hour and you take 3 or 4 days off the business, it feels like it's so hard to get back into it. Is it glitchy? Okay, thank you. Is it kind of iffy? Sorry, I know. Hopefully it'll get better. But so just consistency over time, whether you can just do the bare minimum that day, like count that as a win. But when you can push, you always need to push more for more when you can. Okay, so what tracker are you guys going to use? That's the other question. You have got to use some kind of a system. It's not difficult. It can be the simplest thing, but is it going to be the business activity tracker, which they call the BAT? That was what I was going to share with you guys, which I know you've seen it before, but I was going to kind of like, am I still cutting out really bad? Linda, Miranda, is it bad or not too bad? Okay. I'm going to try to share just for the heck of it because I have this pulled up, so I might as well try. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. So some people don't like this. Some coaches don't like it. A lot of coaches recommend it. It's going to be up to you. It's your preference. If you're somebody who likes detail and they want to just like check stuff off and like feel like you conquered the world because you filled out your tracker, then this is for you. But if you are just kind of like me, like where you don't always have a great system and you fly by the seat of your pants and you kind of just like sit down, and I try to be intentional when I sit down to work. I mean, I really try to laser focus and get my invites out and complete the task that I sit down to do, right? And laser focus on that task. But it's easy to kind of veer off, and when you get messages coming back in because you've sent some out and then someone's interested and then you get to talking to them and then you've talked to them for like 15 minutes back and forth, but you now have stopped your invites. So that's probably one of my like number one tips is when you're sitting down to do invites, you do nothing but that. You don't respond to messages. You don't like or comment or respond to anything that's going on. You simply invite and invite. And a lot of times it's the same exact message over and over and over again because you're either thanking them for liking your post or you're just reaching out because you have a brand new group and you want to see if they would want to join you. So anyways, I like it because it involves your fitness as well. The business activity tracker involves your fitness as well, like so that you can check off being a product of the product, because that's like the number one thing as coaches. And then it has a nice page on the back for all of your people that you've contacted, and then there's a follow-up on the other side to where you'll follow up with those people. And that's really nice too. So you can print off that back page as many as you would need. But it's like, did you show up in your challenge group? Did you contribute to your challenge group? Like, not only did you show up, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, you know how this goes, right? It's like, how can my internet work all day long and then tonight it doesn't work? I'm just like, okay, so anyways, there's the business activity tracker. Figure out what's going to work for you. Like, I don't care. It's a simple thing. You can literally use notebook paper. The Go for No is a really good one. We talk about it all the time, but I can explain that for those who need that explained. It's also in the file section. So figure out an easy way to track. And are you really being consistent? So the idea of tracking, obviously, is not just to necessarily always cross it off your list. It's to see, okay, where am I slacking? Where can I do better? What have I not been doing? And that sort of thing. Okay, so the Energize group we have starting up. So this is huge. This is exciting. This is an easy way to get people involved. And we're basically going to run it like just like lacking energy, sluggish, like getting more sleep, exercising. I mean, it's just going to be a simple 7-day group, but we're going to have some tips in there and stuff. And they can either get the boost, or they can get energized packets, or they can get the tub, or whatever. So there'll be a little bit more information to come on that, but there's really, like, we've done it before. You guys know what to do. Share about that. The other thing is, and I talked about this in my live, but of course the quarterly membership too, like we really should be inviting to that. And who can you like re-invite? So I want you to think of someone you can, because say you invited somebody to your group last month or 2 weeks ago, but they didn't want to. But maybe you invited them in a way that either it wasn't the right time or in a way that maybe wasn't for them. But now they have still been watching you and they are in a different mindset and they need something. And now you reach out to them because you have a brand new group that started today. So that's always good to show like people like the fear of missing out. You're like, hey, how are you? I just wanted to reach out. I know I just reached out to you, but I have a brand new group. It just started today. And you can actually gain Beachbody On Demand, the whole entire membership library for $39.95. And you don't even have to pay for the first 2 weeks. Would you want to join us? So that would be a simple invite to somebody who, because I swear it happens to me all the time, I'll reach out to somebody and they're like, not right now. But then they interact on my stories, or then they like a post, or then they show interest in some way, or I just have something else I'm going to invite them to. So like, I guess I should say, stop like crossing those people necessarily off your list when they say no, because even if it was like a week or two ago, they might be interested. Just because again, it's timing for everybody. Okay. So first thing we're going to do, like, we're going to get right to it. And we are going to kind of walk through a few things. So so it depends if you're on Facebook or Instagram. I am going to share that invite with you here in a minute that I told you that I would share with you. But, so go to your Facebook and can you do that, Miranda? I don't know if she can even go to her Facebook. Okay. Okay. Go to your Facebook and, I want you guys to add 5 to 8 people, friends. Okay. Now a simple way to do this is to go to somebody who you can use your suggested, but I don't use that very often. Go to somebody who you know, who has a lot of connections, who isn't in Beachbody. It doesn't matter if they're in an MLM. Like, we aren't really necessarily wanting to add people that are in another MLM, but like on Instagram, you wouldn't know it a lot of times right away when you're following people. So try not to like overthink it. Okay. It's fine. Some things don't work out for people. They might still join us. Doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. So, and another way is just to like, the main way I do it is just to go to mutual friends. Like, I have somebody I know she's not interested in Beachbody, but I know she has a ton of friends. So I go to her, I go to mutual friends, and then or not mutual friends, I'll just go to all of her friends and I'll look at it and I'll add people where we have 4 to 10 to 12 friends. Do that. And I'll give you guys like a minute to kind of mess around with that. And it's super easy once you get used to it. It's not weird. It's social media. It's network marketing. People don't think you're weird for trying to add them on Facebook. And if you're doing it on Instagram, I've been really like messing around with different ways to find people. So like, I'm doing HelloFresh all the time pretty much now, or I'm doing it a lot. So I'm going to the HelloFresh and I'm looking at, and here's kind of a trick. So I don't just look at who liked it. I looked at who commented on the post, because that shows me that they're more interactive. So they're more of like someone who's like they actually are willing to comment. They're not just someone sitting out and watching. So I will add the people who actually commented on a post. There's just so many ways on Instagram. Like, I love Miranda Lambert, so I'll go to her and I'll look at one of her posts and I'll go to people who commented and I will add those people. And I'll kind of just look and see. Like, I don't scope them out real good. I just add it. Like, again, you're not don't overthink this. It's like super easy, but it's just the way that you're going to continue. Like the girl that messaged me today off of my post, don't know her, never reached out to her before, never even seen her name, can't remember like adding her, don't know how long I've been friends with her. She's never shown interest ever, which means she's not watching my stories, because if you're watching my stories, I pretty much have reached out to you already, unless you're brand new. So it's just cool how like people, you don't think that you think you have to make a connection with them. And sometimes you might find somebody who, and I've been finding people, because that's what a lot of these top coaches do. That's what a lot of these coaches do, is they look for people that are like them. You're looking for somebody who you see maybe like they have grit and they're willing to like, they already show leadership skills and they like have a big heart, and you can tell they're super positive, and you can tell that they're just kind of like maybe your person because they post things that like interest you or that you like. So those are the type of people that like you want on your dream team. Those are the type of people who you want like in our challenge group and on our team and like working this business with. Like, why wouldn't we want to work with the people that like we really like? Okay, so that's hopefully y'all have that done. I always follow more on Instagram, probably. Like I will follow like 50 people. You don't need to do that necessarily, but I do, because Instagram, the turnover rate is not good, typically. And if you want to take it further on Instagram, you can follow. And as you follow those people, you can actually go, as long as it's not the requested ones. If it's requested, you can't access their page until they approve you. But if you were able to follow them from the get-go, you can go straight to their page and start liking and commenting on stuff. So just try to interact with them. Like, it's not a big deal. You don't have to send them a weird message. I don't do weird messages that are like, thank you so much for friending me. Oh, Miranda's got hers printed off. Boom. I don't like go through and I'm like, thank you so much. Like the other day I had this girl and it was super weird. She messaged me and she's like, hey, thank you so much for being a part of my Beachbody journey, or my Beachbody coaching journey, or thank you so much for, I don't know how she said it. It was almost like I helped her join. And I'm like, how did I help you, girl? Like, I was like, oh, cool. How did I help you? LOL. And she's like, just by being friends with me, like you helped me or whatever. And I was like, so she was already a coach, but she obviously didn't scope me out to see that I was a coach too, which it's fine. Like I was like, whatever, I've made mistakes before too. It's not a big deal. But I just don't like the awkwardness of like, hey girl, thanks so much for following me. Like, I don't know. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't. A lot of coaches do, but it's just not me. I would rather post and show up and show you who I am, and you like start to interact with me, or you find that you like that they just want to whatever, like they can figure out if they want to like me or not, right? I don't need an introduction, because my Instagram and my Facebook is like a blog. Like I have everything on there for everybody to see. They're going to figure out who I am. So again, don't overthink that either. But if you feel, and this is what I did with this girl that I messaged the other day, I'm like, she had shared her journey and her story. And I was like, you know, it pulled, like it kind of tugged at my heart, her story, because and I need to go find it, because that's what I said I was going to read to you. But my internet, I'm afraid, is like not going to allow me to do two things at once on my phone and my computer. But, you know, I basically was just like, you know, it takes a lot of courage to put your story out there, and you like inspired so many people by doing so. And I just wanted to say that, like, you know, I really connected with your story, because whatever. And then, you know, I was specific, but then I told her how awesome she would be at inspiring others. And have you ever thought about doing what I do? Because you're already doing what I do. And then, you know, we connected, and she said, like, I don't know, she wasn't interested at the time, but the point is that you're dropping breadcrumbs, and they're going to, now they realize that this is a thing. Now they realize, because so many people, like every time, like I reached out to 2 girls today that I like, feel like they're my person on Instagram. I've met them. I like them. And I finally reached out to them today, because we've been just kind of interacting, and like they respond to your stories. That's why it's important for you to put up like random stuff on your stories, just like stuff that's not related to fitness, because you'll find out what people like and what they connect with you for. And then today I reached out to her and she was like, so what do you do? Like, how do you do this? And what do you coach through? And because it's not obvious, for them that I don't blast the word Beachbody. So the thing, what I was getting to say, to the point of what I was saying, is they don't know what you're doing. So don't assume that they do. So now that you've presented the opportunity to them, they know that the opportunity exists and you're going to continue to show up. And then they're going to eventually, hopefully, be inspired enough once you re-invite and re-invite and re-invite. They're going to hopefully join you. Okay, so let's do a few messages. So something that I'm going to do after we get off this call is I'm going to invite to the coaching opportunity, because I have posts that I've done this week that I put basically about coaching out there. So I want to just kind of specifically invite to that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But I want you guys to, I think it's important that you are sharing about your coaching journey in ways that you can get people to see like what you're doing, because you're doing it for your accountability. Or what are you doing it for? Like, why are you doing this? So think about those things, like, why am I doing this, and how would I connect with someone, and what would they, if I were looking for an opportunity, or if I were needing some way to get fit, or I was needing a way to make income, or whatever, what would I connect with? Like, how, like, I think about the people that I follow on Instagram, and I'm like, I think about the things that I connect with them and the things I like. So I'm like, okay, I like those things. So then I can kind of gear my posts in the way that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of think about it that way with whatever you're drawn to. Those are the things that you can share with people too. Because a lot of times we don't invite to the coaching opportunity enough. And that's something that all of us working coaches need to be more not scared to do, because it's not a scary thing. Like I said, most people don't understand what we do. They don't I think sometimes they think we just love to work out and we just love to like spill our guts, and we do, but you know what I mean. Okay, so as far as inviting goes, why don't you guys do a few invites to the challenge group for the challenge group that started today? Or you can do the Energize group. I don't care. You could put something on your stories about the Energize group maybe this week, just asking what's everybody's energy level? Like, what do you think people's energy level is? Like, I think most people have a very low energy level, and that's a complaint. So that would be something you could put on your stories. Like, just curious, like, where's your energy level? You can, we post about Energize all the time, but I think if you figure out different ways to kind of throw it out there is good. But so I wouldn't really necessarily do like a post about that. I'm probably going to do more stories and direct invites to that, meaning where I would just invite them and say, hey, I just wanted to check in with you, because maybe it's somebody who works out all the time. Maybe it's somebody who has like said no in the past, but I will ask them if they just would be willing to try a 10-day or a 10-packet sample of Energize and to join this group or whatever. And you could do an energy post. You could definitely do a post out there and put that up. But anyway, as far as our group starting today, I think it would be a good time for you guys. Like, I'm going to continue to invite to our group. Like, I won't stop inviting. You're never going to stop inviting to our group, even when it's 2 months old. But with the fact of it starting this week, it's huge. It's exciting, because now's the time. Now's the time to jump in to our fall group. So if you're inviting off of your posts, which maybe you haven't been posting enough, or maybe you're just starting to post, so that's a time where you need to start trying to put a little bit more of your story out there. And you can ease into this. You can do it as you go, as you feel like you can. And it's good to push yourself a little out of your comfort zone. But what can you share that would inspire other people about your fitness journey? Because then you have a lot of invites you can do off of that post. And that's how, like, I get all of my invites. Like, I was thinking about that today. I could go back to all of my posts that I've posted for 5 years, and I could go back and I could like spend days and days and days just inviting off of posts, because I could re-invite and follow up and re-invite and follow up. So if you ever feel like you're running out of people, go back to old posts that you've posted and check on that. But because people fall through the cracks, especially if you're not tracking properly. So something I would say is like, hey girl, how are you? Thank you so much for liking my post. I really appreciate the support. I just wanted to reach out and see if you would have any interest in joining our brand new fall group that just started today. We do everything at home. Would you want more information? Like that's like simple, direct post that you could do off of an invite. If you didn't want to do it off of an invite and you wanted to do it just out of kind of the blue to somebody maybe that you know, somebody that you think might join you, somebody that like is on your heart to invite, then you might just say like, hey, how are you? Same thing, kind of like I just wanted to reach out because I started this fitness journey, and it's with a community of women where we share recipes and tips and just anything to keep each other motivated. And we started a brand new group today. We do everything at home, and most of the workouts are between 20 and 30 minutes. Would you have would you want more information? So super simple, like nothing, like no big deal, just because then most likely a lot of times they won't respond to you, and that's normal. A lot of times they'll say, yeah, I want more information. And then after you give it to them, they won't respond. But that's okay, because that's normal, because people either don't know if they want to join you, or they are just whatever, like they don't know, or they're busy when they open the message. And so when they say yes, that's when I recommend, and here's what I've been doing lately that I wanted to share. So I got away from doing this, and this I think is like the secret sauce. So I got away from sharing about Beachbody On Demand, like leading with Beachbody On Demand as my leading way to get people in the door, because like I said before a million times, 27 cents a day for every single program they've ever created, in the full link, their calendars to follow, and all the nutritional information. Like I literally say that exact thing every single time. So if you guys want me to like copy what I say, and I don't have a script or anything, I just voice text usually. But, and then I just like tell them what they get. Like that keeps them in my groups all year. That gives them every new program that comes to the library, they're going to gain. It takes the guesswork out of it. They get everything they need to succeed, all the tools. Like it's amazing what they get for Beachbody On Demand. And if you're a raving fan of it and you think it's as amazing as I do, then there's no reason why you can't get people to say yes to that, especially when you break it down and let them know all they're getting. So I lead with that. And then after that, that's when I go into, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like that's totally doable, like whatever. Then I'm like, and then if you wanted to add supplements, you can, whether or not you want to focus on your nutrition, or you would rather use the pre-workout that I post about all the time on my stories, and use the post-workout with that. Which do you think would interest you more? So anyways, that's kind of how I will go, like lead with Beachbody On Demand instead of blasting them with all the information right at the beginning. You can do it however you want. There's no right or wrong way. So don't overthink it. I just feel like it's a great place to start with Beachbody On Demand. And if you can get them in the door with a full year of Beachbody On Demand, and maybe even upsell, like with packets of Energize or whatever, it's great for volume. You're making pretty much just as much commission as you would if you were to sign them up for a challenge pack. So really like dive in to letting them know what they're getting with On Demand. Like it's huge. Okay, so that's the invite. So keep going. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes because I know that takes a little time. And when we get off the call too, and when I get this call uploaded, which since I got kicked off, I don't know how that's going to work, but anyways, I'll do my best. I'm going to tag you guys, and I want everybody to share the tracker that they're using or the system that they're using, just to show everybody like how you're tracking. Cause it can get like, I know Jackie Hart has like some crazy system that she teaches her team, and it's kind of her own thing in a way that she follows up on a certain day with people. So she does her follow-ups on a certain days. And like, to me, that's just like, that's not my brain at all. And everybody's different in how they do it. Like I can completely just get a lot of work done on like a scattered mess, but that's not how a lot of people operate. So I just want to kind of see what you guys are using, and it will help other coaches too to see like what you guys, your teams, what you guys are using, so they can kind of see where they should go with that. Earlier today in the White House, I had the honor of awarding the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest civilian award to someone. And two, also just to kind of think of like, I don't know why, but when I'm laying in bed, my mind will just kind of go like, I'll be thinking of ideas, or I'll just be thinking of things that are on my heart. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a post about that. Oh, that's my next post. And so I like have an ongoing note in my phone of ideas that, like different ideas with like sharing my faith, and ideas with my marriage, and ideas with my fitness, and implementing my kids in the business, because those are like the top things that I post about. So, you know, I think that's a lot of the struggle for people, is they struggle with figuring out what to post. They're like, I don't feel like I don't know anything to post. And I think just picking up a personal development book will like fire your mind up enough that you're like, okay, there's an idea. Or that touched, you know, my like whatever, like that made me, you know, think of in a way that I can relate to it with it to my life. So it might give you an idea that way too. Because sometimes it's hard to share things if you're feeling so uninspired. But just try to think of that too, because that'll help with your business. Like Thursday, maybe you already know you're going to do a Throwback Thursday post. What's it going to be? It's going to be like talking about the girl. Like I did a post today with my kids when Jackson was little, and I joined as a coach. And, you know, I don't share a lot of that old stuff. And I should, because it's cool. Like it's neat to see. It's neat to go back and look. So who was the girl that, you know, was before you started? I think it's so good to like talk about, like I love everything about mindset, of course. And so I just like think it's really cool to talk about, like for me, I think it's because that's been the biggest change for me. So I could share about it all day long. I could share about how I used to view things and now how I view them, and how, you know, I feel like peace in my brain and my mind more, and different things. And so whatever it is for you, like what's been the biggest transformation? You could never, if you had a lot of people who had eating disorders or whatever, not necessarily that, but just different things that are life struggles for people. Like, I don't think, and like with my struggle with anxiety, like that's never going to get old to share, because it's never going to go out of like, everyone's still going to have trouble with it. Like it's not going to go away. I hate to say it, but it's just not. And so people can relate with you so much when you just share the simplest things about your life. So be thinking of those things too. Because you can almost craft a post if you know, like, okay, like some people are planners, and I shared at the beginning of September, I shared that document thing that Jackie had shared, just showing like what you could post each day, just to give ideas of recipes, or like, you know, whatever. I don't like generic posts that much. Like I'd rather post about something like that's on my brain. But that's just me. You don't have to. People love recipes. So share one, like a recipe that you make, share it. People like always love recipes. So maybe you want to plan your week that way. Maybe you want to plan what kind of post you're going to do. Okay, so that's pretty much it as far as like the action hour, because really beyond, like, obviously you can't just send 3 messages a day and be like, okay. I mean, you can, because that would be a small step. That would be a small, consistent step. But you have to determine where you're going with this and what is possible with this. Because if you have that, then you like will want to do more, right? You always want to do more based on where you're going. So it's like with, and I compare fitness all the time, but it's like with that, like, okay, do you want to just stop? Do you want to just like stay where you are and just like, you know, or do you want to like use your enthusiasm and excitement to get to a goal that you might have that you will only reach if you show up? And if you continue to show those people that, because I think so many times people cave and they stop showing up, and then people are like, huh, what's she doing now? Like, where'd she go? And it's okay. Life happens. Like, we all back off and we all like just struggle to, some days I won't post on social media for like, I think last week, there was like 2 days I didn't post, and it was just like, I don't know. I was working and I was doing the things, but I just didn't have it on my heart to post. And that's okay. Like, it's good. You got to take care of yourself and your family. But I don't know, just have fun with it. Like, continue to just branch out and do the best you can and all the things, because we're just like doing so many amazing things on our team. I really see so many people evolving, even though you might not think you are. And I'm sure you guys feel that way too. You just feel more comfortable with inviting. You feel more comfortable with just like putting yourself out there and being able to be you. And that's like the number one thing that has been a life change for me. Like, I feel like I can just put it out there, and it's like I don't even second guess it. Like, I don't even care. I mean, I want it to come out good and I want it to come out positive, but I think it does, but I used to just second guess myself all the time. Like, when I would post, I would ask like Jamie, or I would ask Jessica, like, do you think that sounded okay? Do you think that they would take it this way, you know? And anyways, and Jessica does that sometimes too. And I know you guys do that sometimes too, to just make sure it sounds okay. But if it's in your heart and it's on your mind and you just like feel like the world needs to hear it, then it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Even if it's like stuff people don't want to hear because it's tough love, or it's something that is kind of like bold. I think it's cool to share that stuff, because a lot of people don't have the courage to do it. And that's where people will start to really, I think, trust you. And they'll start to be like, wow, like, she isn't afraid to like share whatever she's feeling. And she's not afraid to like put herself out there and like go for something that is really hard, you know, because this can be hard at times. And we keep going and we keep showing up for the people that are going to appreciate it, because not everybody will. And that's okay, because we're not there for those people. We're there for the people that, you know, we're going to inspire and help. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all. I mean, we could go on and on with action hour, but that's the gist of it. And I think if you guys can figure out your, like, every single day what it's going to look like for you, and it's not always going to look the same, but like the relationships that you can create. And this is something I'm really getting back to doing, is like, it's fun to like find the people. It's fun to like figure myself out. First of all, figure out who the heck I am and where I'm going, right? I kind of got that figured out. So then I share that. And then now I'm connecting with those people who I think are similar to me and who would maybe want to go where I'm going. Or I would like them to go with me where I'm going. And that's cool to like make those connections and just find those people. So keep messing with Instagram if you're feeling like you're struggling, but you can build a business on Facebook, because I built my business solely on Facebook. And now it's like, I'm loving Instagram and I'm having fun with it. So I just wanted to, I think I covered everything that I was going to cover pretty much. So if you guys have any questions, I want you guys to, if I can't get this uploaded because of the breakup of the recording, I will I just got a text message and I'm all off track now. I will have you guys comment below that one of the threads, some thread with your tracker. Okay, so I want you guys to show me your tracker, and I want you guys to ask any questions that you have about tracking, and really what you need to be doing if you're confused. Okay, I think that's all. So thank you guys for jumping on. I hope this helped you. You know, keep it simple, keep going, keep sharing. Diving into your own journey is how you're going to build this business. Diving into you, diving into your health and nutrition and your fitness, and making your workouts non-negotiable and being excited about like the results that you're getting. That's where you're going to feel empowered to share with other people. Because if we're not, like, if I feel like I'm in a funk, it's because of me. It's because I haven't either taken care of myself, or my mind's in the gutter, or not the gutter. The gutter's not the word. My mind's in like wherever, like in a funk that I feel like I can't, you know, help others, and it's all in my mind. So get after it. Okay. All right, you guys, we're good. I'm going to end this, and then we are going to, I'll try to get this posted if I can. Okay. Okay. Thank you all for jumping on. Good night.
Do you want Linda and I to stay on still?
I'm going to have you guys stay on.
Okay.
Jamie said she had to step away, so hers might. I'm going to stop the record button.